friends and colleagues. David Burn in Austin, Texas. Dan Goldgeier in Seattle, and we are ready to do what we call Ad Chatter. Dan, how you doing?
Good, David. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. Surviving the pandemic somehow without losing my mind.
Yeah, if you asked me if this was still going to be lockdown in the end of July, back in March, I would have been a little surprised and more than a little depressed.
Taking it one day at a time and keeping in mind the positives that we have. Anything from having work, having our health, and being able to survive this thing in a relatively decent setting and way. You live in Seattle, we live in Austin. We can order Thai food and on and go pick it up, and it's relatively safe.
Yeah,
you've been doing that.
Yeah, we've been ordering food, going out to a couple of restaurants, sitting on the patio. But yeah, the new normal or different normal or abnormal, whatever you want to call it. You know, a lot of brands, a lot of companies, a lot of people just making adjustments.
Well, there's no return to normal. I think we can maybe all agree on that, which is a good segue into some of the content that we want to look at today, or some of the storytelling, should we say.
Yep.
That content word, it's maddening. I'm going to share the screen, Dan, and then we'll look at some stuff, and then we'll take it from there. Wanted to start with the awesome shirt that I'm wearing.
Tell us about the shirt.
When you live in Texas, you have to have custom-made shirts. And thankfully, my friend Carol of Western Shirts here in town makes custom shirts. She made one for Jim Lauderdale, which is how I found out about her, because I love Jim Lauderdale.
Yeah.
He was here performing pre-pandemic, had the shirt on, said Carol was in the audience. Long story short, I have a shirt.
Cool.
So this is Instagram, Western Shirts. It's a plug she's not expecting, but she makes incredible shirts. And so I wanted you to know, and I wanted to wear it today to model that.
Very cool.
So I wanted to jump over here before we look at commercials, Dan, and highlight this paragraph. This is the ANA website, the the Association of National Advertisers, one of the oldest trade groups in the business. And it says, in order to break through, connect, and make an impression, particularly in today's business and media climate, marketers need to blend emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence, and creativity. The formula puts data and machine intelligence on equal footing with creativity, because this triad is the final frontier of marketing innovation. I don't like the idea that creativity has to share in some triad. That sounds like a bunch of crap to me, Dan. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a word salad. I don't know who wrote this, but maybe it's somebody with a 1 foot in the AI world who's trying to sell you something.
Let's be totally transparent in our reporting, Dan. Christopher Jablonski is a senior content marketing manager at Adobe. So, he's a client, and I understand that this is a very popular point of view, which is why I wanted to bring it forward. What we have here on the show are two creatives, two copywriters, and I wanted to get our take on this type of thing that we frankly hear all the time. I think it's crap for a bunch of reasons that we could spend the whole show on, but I wanted to hear from you first.
Well, I know that Adobe is dipping its toes, or maybe its whole body, into the AI tools, going beyond the Creative Cloud that most of us use in the business. They're getting into programmatic, and they're getting into some other ways of automated creativity, and that's where they think the future of their business is. So naturally, it stands to reason that's where they think the future of our business is. I don't necessarily think that all these things need to be equal, or they need to, be placed on some Venn diagram where they all overlap. But if they have some examples, I'd like to see that, instead of just pontificating on some theories.
To me, this is all about mitigating risk, and from time immemorial, clients want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that we have people from the tech world selling that dream but not backing it up. We're from the creative world. We do back it up, and I can say for sure that the customers want to connect with what you and I make, Dan, which is the creative product that makes sense to them. It may be fueled by these other things, but that's why I don't like the triad, because if you're fueling creativity with data, they're not equal. It's part of a system.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I just wanted to go off a little bit. I appreciate you tolerating that. Let's look at commercials.
Okay.
Take control over your back-to-school schedule by choosing the right sitter for your family at care.com.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for making the time to talk.
I'm just right around the corner from you. Oh, I love animals. I think string cheese and fruit. Sí, con mi abuela. Oh, hide and seek, it's a classic.
I just like to get the kids up and outside.
At care.com, you can find the perfect sitter for your schedule and budget right near you. Get the back-to-school help you need. Care.com.
Let's see what to say about this, Dan. I just think that this desire to return to normalcy is so intense that we're starting to see more and more of these commercials from this particular brand, but others like it, that are indicating that we are going to return to normal. Kids are going to go back to school, and therefore you're going to need help. So there's the creative piece of this, which I haven't touched on, and then the actual offer. What's your thought just from seeing this cold like this?
Well, I don't know when it obviously looks like they've recorded it recently. They've made this commercial recently, but back to school is very up in the air for most people, and it probably won't happen for a lot of school kids. And so this service, which it seems like a gig economy service to me, I'm not too familiar with it, although I've used some pet sitting services for my dog. They're looking to fill a need that working parents and folks who need a lot of help, knowing that things will not go back to school, kids will not go back to school, and things will not go back to normal. It's very, very, they're very upfront about it. You can see that, if you need a babysitter or some help for your child, and it looks like there's some other services based on what I see on the super there, they're looking to fill in those gaps for parents who are stuck in a job that does not afford them the time or the ability to take care of kids all day.
Yes, and they do have pet care listed here. So that was my immediate thought. This is like Rover, but for
right.
Babysitters.
Right, and I've used Rover successfully. It's a Seattle company, so it's been very popular out here, and a lot of good people use our dog sitters and dog walkers on the service. So I would assume that, if care.com puts a little care into finding good people, then this could be it's a very valuable service. So.
Granted, and I have been noticing their media budget must be substantial, because this spot and others have been playing a lot. So that's been happening. Let's look at a few other commercials while we're at it. This is from Mobil 1, and it has some celebrity factor.
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he do?
Raven.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil One. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil One.
Dan, is this good? I do.
You know, it's hard for me to tell. You know, white guys dancing awkwardly tends to be a pretty funny topic. You can always have a little amusement at those guys' expenses. I guess those guys are NASCAR drivers. I don't know. Pretty safe to say that they are. So it's amusing, but I don't really. I totally missed why I should be using Mobil One in my car. But people are looking for some lighthearted amusement in this time. So if this fits the bill for that,
it's the mix of them being 4 or 5 inches tall. And,
yeah, there's that too.
And also, here's the inside advertising joke: they're shelf talkers.
Ah, yes, shelf talkers. That's
okay.
good.
But there was
Literally
supposed to be a laugh track there somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't see it or hear it. But speaking of laugh tracks, let's move to this. It's time to turn the lights on, Dan. And as you know, Mariners and all the other teams are back playing in empty stadiums, which is weird.
It is weird, and we're recording this July 28th, and half the Florida Marlins have tested positive for coronavirus after a weekend series, I think. So there's some games canceled. So it may not be time just yet for a lot of baseball. We're going to see how it plays out. It is odd watching some of the games where you've got cutouts of fans in the stands and piped in fan noise. It's a great diversion if you're a baseball fan, but it's definitely not normal. I don't know that this spot really made me too jazzed for baseball. I think there's probably better ways to do that. Although just a pretty generic welcome back to the sport.
Question: Have you seen the NBA on television? Have you seen their return?
The basketball? No, I have not.
So they're playing all games in Orlando on a small court that is framed with curtains. And so let me just say, the theater of basketball is being handled properly right now in context with COVID. The theater of baseball with these empty stadiums is wrong, off, etc. And we'll see if the season even continues. So, of course, it's time. We're all going nuts. But these are risky things to say. Of course, it's time. It's time to wake up. It's time to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So keep moving. We have one more spot to discuss this evening, and here it is. This is for Cascade Platinum, which is just a simple dishwashing product.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Right after dinner.
Definitely after meatloaf. Like clockwork.
Do it. Run your dishwasher every night with Cascade Platinum. A load with as few as 8 dishes is all it takes to save water. An Energy Star certified dishwasher uses less than 4 gallons per cycle, while a running sink uses that every 2 minutes. So do it. Run your dishwasher every night with Cascade Platinum. The surprising weight.
interesting there because it's just a simple commercial, no big deal. The reason I'm bringing it to our attention is that this commercial has upset some right-wing Christian conservatives that do not like the sexual innuendo in Do It,
Wow. Okay.
which of course makes me pause and balk and a bunch of things. But you know, from an advertising perspective, what they're trying to do here is change behavior. So of course you have to use something fun like
I
this.
still do it every night, right after dinner.
Definitely after meatloaf. Like clockwork.
Yeah, this is, you know, the idea of do it and we did it and we do it every night. I mean, that's a first quarter ad school joke. You know, it's kind of, I've heard it before. I probably even tried it when I was a junior copywriter, doing spots like that. But I think you're hitting on something very interesting, and I have not seen this very much. They are literally trying to obviously sell more detergent by telling people, reminding folks who are now at home, maybe doing more dishes than they ever have because they don't eat out much, to start running the dishwasher every night. And this reminds me of going back to the 1910s and the 1920s and the early days of advertising. If you've ever read about it, there were all sorts of hygiene instructions that were new to people because we wanted to market something. Go brush your teeth twice a day, or floss every day, or drink a glass of orange juice every day. These were things that doctors didn't say, marketers said them. And so inevitably, the way we live in modern times in 2020 is a product of what marketers said 100 years ago in 1920. And this is a modern day twist on that. It's telling people you can actually conserve water. I don't know if that's true. There's a sort of an environmental message by going and buying more Cascade and running the dishwasher every night. It's fascinating. I don't know if it'll have a long-term effect or how much they're going to beat this into the ground, but it is as old a technique as advertising itself.
I'm so glad that you said all of those things, and this is why Dan Goldgeier is on the show. That ad was from.
I know your history. Yes.
That ad was from Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
Obviously a soap maker, and to go back in history, the Woodbury soap ad from ad legend Helen Lansdowne Reeser was very instructional around beauty techniques and how to have clearer, better, softer skin.
Right.
And you have to have the soap to do that.
Yep.
And all that. But yes, so I wasn't making that connection myself, Dan. So thank you so much for doing that and allowing me to talk about one of my favorite ad persons of all time, which goes way back to the beginning of the 20th century. Ad legend Helen Lansdowne. So thanks, that was fun. And those were a fun run of commercials. It's an interesting time right now to try to convey product value when people are just trying to get back to some normal, survive, be healthy and happy. So it's an interesting time to be in the business, and not all the ads we're seeing are worthy of commenting on. Some are, and so we commented today. Thank you for listening. Dan, have the last word.
Well, thanks everybody. Hope you've enjoyed our little chat, and if you have any feedback for us, leave it for us on the social channels or on adpulp.com.
Gracias, amigos. Talk to you later. We'll do this again soon.